So, DJI FPV Controller 3 inverted yaw completed. So, your right goes left, your left goes right, like a stuff. Lion's gonna be happy. So we yet again have the DJI Avata. We've had the first revision with the RC or the FPV controller number 2, and this is now the number 3. So yet again, the client has asked me to invert the yaw. Left must be right. Oh yeah, left must be right and right must be left. And so let's dig into taking this controller apart. So what we have is these two flaps over here. So we need to obviously take these two flaps, lift them up, and you'll have a screw located here and a screw located here on each side of the controller. I'm going to take that out now, and then we'll move to the next part. Alright, so we've got the 4 screws out. We have them there laying in the position that they came out with, just so that you can remember. Always take out your DJI sticks. Or just screw in. Take them out first, obviously, because you need to get a prying tool in here to pry this open area and the stop area open, which I'm going to do now. Alright, to note something else straight off of the bat, the DJI controller has a little sign there to say that there's a signal. Don't mind my hand. And there's a beam of sorts that comes through there. As I've lifted this off, there is nothing. So there's nothing there. So let's see where the signal is actually coming from. Alright, so as I normally start with these controllers in general, you'll see there'll be 2 tabs at the top there, and there. So if you use a prying tool and you pry this open, you can get to this tab and you put a holder in there. You get to this tab, put a holder in there. Once you have done that, you need to slightly push on the 2 tabs that are sitting here. Once you push on those 2 tabs, this whole front section will come apart. Then you need to slowly pry yourself all the way around until you work your way through to the bottom section. You see there's a few clips there. None have been broken, just because you slowly move your way through it. And this is the first look at the DJI FPV 3 controller. Got a short lead at the back, and as we knew, there only is 1 battery in this controller. It looks like there was a placement for 2, but only 1 on the board. As you can see, the power connector and the speaker that's sitting at the bottom there with the USB-C connection. So we also had the assumption that it only had 1 battery, and confirmed it only has 1 battery and only 1 ability to plug it in, from what I'm looking at. So taking a look at the controller, it looks like on the left hand side for the stop and start button, which is on the back of the controller if I recall, on the right hand side where the yaw and the throttle position is, they have glued the physical connector to the battery holder. So that's the first obstacle you're going to have to deal with when opening up this controller. So confirmed, opening up, that there is only 1 battery in here. That is a 2600 mAh 3.6 volt 9.36 watt hour battery. There's only 1 battery inside of here. What I did find is that the battery holder has been glued on, as you can see there. So it is very difficult, if it focuses, very difficult to get that wire out. Or I mean, not really difficult, you could warm it up and things like that, but then you can bend plastic and things. So I decided to rather take that housing out, as it's only 4 screws that hold onto the plastics like the old controller. From what I'm looking at, it looks like these 2 are exactly the same for the sticks. From what I'm looking at, from previously opening up the previous controller, a lot less components in here from what I can see. There's only 1 power lead connector here, a speaker, USB, and by the looks of it, because on the top it says there is the transmission, but there is literally nothing underneath it. So what they've done is, on this all-in-one board, that's why the controller is quite light, they've added these 2 here. And with this, they've added in this to allow the signal to, I don't know, be sent in a longer direction. So from the old heatsink that you had on the V2 controller, they have completely redesigned this board. I would love to see how much range people get out of this thing. but it looks like the stick commands, gimbals, are pretty much the same. Pretty much the 4-screw assembly with the 2 screws on the receiver. It looks like, on the pickup for the axis. But it does look like they are smaller. So let's take this thing apart and invert this yawn. Hopefully underneath there, which you can see clearly, is a magnet. So you need to mark that magnet before you move anything. But we'll do that in the next little part. So there's the DJI FPV 3 controller again. We've taken the pickup for the yaw axis off, and we now notice that there is a magnet there, but it does look like it's pressed in internally. It might be bigger on the inside as well, so it cannot be inverted, but let me confirm. I'm going to take these last 4 screws out to take the gimbal physically out of its holder and see if we can invert this. Alright, back to the controller this morning. So we've taken this magnet out. The magnet is pressed in. So ideally, I do advise that you slightly take a heat gun and heat it up, but be very careful because it is plastic. So from a high height away from it, just warm it up slowly and then use a flat-edged item just to push it out of the housing. What I did though is I marked the one side to make sure I know which side is which, so that you can try and invert the yaw. So let's see if this works. Right, so after taking the controller apart, taking out the gimbal section, we notice we have the magnet there. It looks like they have chopped the magnet and not made it round anymore. They've made a ledge on it now. So it seems like you can still get it out, but inverting it is possible. Just want to see if it's been glued into this housing assembly. If it has, then we got a bit of a challenge on our hand. But let me see. Let's take it from there. So taking a bit of a close-up look here on the actual magnet, you see there's grooves. So this looks like it's been press fitted in here. So we'll have to warm this up slightly to allow the magnet to come out, and then we can invert it. So yet again, another successful inverted yaw, your left, your right. So successfully done. The magnet has been inverted. That wasn't that difficult to take it out. Do need to heat it up to make it to be able to work. There's a lot less in here than I anticipated. Probably. So DJI FPV Controller 3 inverted yaw completed. So your right goes left. Your left goes right, like a stuff. Lion's gonna be happy.